That is Nviru the storyteller giving us Nico Sawa. Of course, he's giving us with the king of soul. I call him the king of soul, BN from Sauti Soul himself, man, a bald man. You're definitely listening to the wonderful tunes from your number one online radio station, Tap Radio. This is the Unscripted Opinion with me, Joseph Njau, in the building. Someone would ask me, why are you not saying Mr. Phenomenal in the building? You know, Mr. Phenomenal is also my name, but at the same time, this is a very serious, a different side of me, let me call it. This is a different side of me, of course, to the craft. It has been a journey developing from being Mr. Phenomenal, giving you the evening drive on top of radio from Monday to Friday, until now that a new chapter has opened up, and this new chapter has allowed me to come and give you the unscripted opinion. And with regard to the unscripted opinion, now I'm forced to wear a different hat. Now, with a different hat means that I get to have a different type of conversation with you, everybody. And this type of conversation is with regard to political topics that have been making the headlines across the week. And not just in Kenya, but across the world. So let us do a recap of what we've been talking about today. Now, what we've been talking about is something very, very simple. And it is with regard to a shifting in position of the Africa's heads of state. We're talking about Africa has been let me call it the butt of every joke. No, let me call it Africa has been victim or victimized. And it is due to the fact that, let's say, global systems haven't been working in favor of the African continent. And so therefore, I think to get away from this cloud or from this shadow that has been cast upon Africa, we need, let's say, revolutionary thinking. We need leaders or African leaders who understand the fact that it is time for African nations and for African leaders to stop thinking within the box, but to get away, just throw the box away and refocus, reshape our thinking. And I think we've already started seeing some of these leaders or some of our leaders doing exactly this. And among the few things that we got an opportunity to even discuss and talk about, it includes the shift in focus from being victim policy, from being solution oriented. It's not that send us money, we need this. It's not about, for example, a good example would be what President Ruto was saying. It's not about Africa needs money. It's the fact that Africa has solutions.
But we do not want to come to the table as victims. That's not what we want to do. We want to come, we have our own ideas. We believe we can make a contribution towards sorting out this global challenge. It's affecting us the most. We have contributed the least, but that is not the conversation. We are telling the globe that we have ideas on how to sort out this problem. And we want Africa to be part of the answer. We are not going to accept to continue to be labeled as victims.
But you have to bring Africa to the table to bring those solutions. And among the few things that I've heard is with regard to global climate change financing. And President Ruto is in France at the moment. And among the few things that he was able to talk about is global financing with regards to climate change. And he has been vocal about the fact that there needs to be a system, and not only a system, a global system, a global financing system with regard to climate change. And this system, its main focus will be to bring all the players, and I mean from the global north, global south, however, just come to the table. But the discussion shouldn't be a discussion of I'm giving you money to mitigate this. No, the discussion should be of equals. You're not just giving money. What you're doing, you're investing in solutions.
The proposal I make is we need to reform the multilateral development financing institutions. The international financial architecture is not sitting pretty. UN Secretary General said on this podium this morning that there are countries that are paying 8 times in interest what the rest are paying. He was actually referring to those of us in Africa and largely in the global south. We're paying 8 times. And that is why our being in debt is not by default. We were set up by the system to be in debt. If you are paying 8 times, the chances of you being saddled with debt are 8 times higher than the next person.
And it is notable to actually state of the fact that with regard to climate change, let's laud ourselves, let's clap for ourselves, because some of the milestones we are making, for example, as a country, and a good example would be Kenya, having 92% of our grid being green. It means that the other 8%, we can work on it with time to ensure that a time comes within our lifetime where the nation is 100% green energy. And I had a conversation with 2 nuclear activists, and they actually educated me and told me of the fact that nuclear is green energy. And we are actually interrogating the notion of, is Kenya ready for nuclear energy? And what will be the impact of nuclear energy in Kenya? But I digress. We'll still go back to the conversation that we're having now. If you're not following the Unscripted Opinion on YouTube, I totally suggest that you do, because that's where I get to interrogate some of these topics and